Welcome back. So far we have been able to duplicate the top of this graphic in all three browsers. And what we're going to do now is we are going to style the bottom. So in order to style the bottom, we need to float this question aside to the right. This questions aside is this section here. So we're going to float that to the right, and the questions section is this section here. So this will fall into the flow of the page, and this will jump up a higher Z level, and this will be by being floated to the right. So let's go and get all of the IDs. We don't have to do this now, but we might as well. There's no reason not to. Now, one of the things about coding is that sometimes when you code, you can come into a situation where there were many programmers long before you. So some of the code that you have to deal with can have IDs that are just unbelievable by name. And you want to make absolutely certain that you are naming them properly. So I find that one of the best things to do is to copy them. And that way you can make sure that you don't misspell any one of them. You can, because what can happen is you can work for one industry, and it may be a 6-month contract, and then the next thing you know, you're working for another industry, and the terminology is all different. So it makes you a stronger programmer, because if you constantly change industries, but it takes you time as the programmer to get used to terminology that everyone else automatically already know, because they've been involved with the company for so long. They've been in that industry for so long. Now we have a questions aside, and what we're going to do with the questions aside is we're going to float it to the right. And also we're going to change the size of it so it matches. You can't see it. I'm going to put a border around it. Border. So we're going to do 1 pixel solid, and we'll do black. Save, and so you can see what how it appears. So that's the border. Let me make it a bit thicker so you can see it. I'll make it 5 pixels, and I'll make it red also. DF. So that's the entire board. This is the entire aside. We're going to float this entire thing to the right, and then this text, what is semantic HTML and what is accessibility, this is going to fall directly into the flow of the page. It's still in the flow of the page because we didn't pull it out. And while we're at it, we might as well we should style the question section with a border, just so you can see. Let's go 0, 0, F, and that's blue. Okay, so now you can see this is the aside and this is the section. So we're going to float the aside first. So in the questions aside, we floated it to the right, and then we need to decrease the size of it because it's too big right now. Also, we want to move it away from, you see how it's right up against the border of the page? We're going to move it in by a couple of pixels. So that's padding. What's happening? Padding right. We want, let's just go 75 pixels. And wait a minute, something happened. Padding right, 75 pixels. And also, since we have padding, now we have it floated to the right. We probably want to resize it also. So let's change the width of it. 350. We're making it 350 because we made the top one 350. Good. Now you see, this is outside of the flow of the normal page. This has been floated, and it's been floated over to the right. And we put a margin in here of 75 to get it to come in line. Okay, so now that that's done, we can, so this is the, we can get rid of the, no, we want to hold on to that until we're done. I'm going to keep the border until we're done. We're going to padding, we're going to move this down. See how close that is up top? We don't like that. So let's move that down, padding top. Let's try 30 pixels and see what it looks like. It looks fine. Wow, that's kind of a lot. So let's make it 20. Yeah, there you go. That looks better. And then form div. So this is the form. It starts right here with name. The first thing in the form is a label name, and that's this label right here. So we want to see where it says modernizer JS library. We want to put some space between that and name, some vertical space. So what we'll do is we'll do the same thing. We'll do padding top, and let's try 30 pixels and test it, see if it looks good. That looks fine. 30 is fine there. And now we have what's left. We have the questions section, and for the questions section, let's see what we're going to do. That's this section over here. So we definitely need to have we want to put some space in between it, between the border here and this line here. So let's, for the question section, let's put margin left and make it 25 pixels. Ah, that's beautiful. Look at that. It moved over. And also we want to float it to the left and set the width. So let's float it to the left and set the width to, we had 350 on the other side, so I'm going to try 275 and see. Why is that up there? You don't belong up there. Also, look what happened here. Semicolon. 275px semicolon, save, refresh. So you can see clearly where our you're seeing the gray now because we don't have a clear float, but you can see how we have this floated to the left and we have this section floated to the right, and that's about it. Now for the semantic HTML text, what we need to do is we're just going to move it down to the same amount that we moved this down. So that would be padding top. We made it 20 pixels. Let's keep it at that. And then for accessibility, the only thing we need to do with accessibility is, well, we move this one 30. We probably want to move this one 30 also. So padding top 30 pixels, and now let's refresh. Okay, and then let's get rid of the borders. We don't need a border around there. We only use the borders. From time to time you'll add a border to your page because you want to see exactly where things are happening, and having a border there really helps. And then that Explorer will get started, and then we'll go to Chrome and we will refresh. Okay, what I don't like is the fact that that gray, this gradient, you can see this is meant for the outside only, but it's taken over the whole thing. So we're going to style this background as white, and this is Chrome. Let's take a look in Mozilla. Let's Control R, and then let's take a look at Internet Explorer. It's doing the same exact thing, and Control R. That's horrible. You can't have a website that looks like that. The customer will have a fit. So the bottom line is that we have sized up, we have made the layout for our bottom section to match the bottom section here, and then we're going to go ahead in the next video and we're going to start styling that part. Okay, we're out of time, and I'll see you in the next video.